Veronica Nate has been suffering from seizures for some time now, but hers is quite unusual according to the Accra Ridge Hospital. Veronica had over 60 seizures in a day while pregnant. The seizures left her brain swollen and doctors still don't know the cause of her seizure. Dr. Ellis Noti Fafa Atta and Dr. Charlene Ano tell me when she was brought to the hospital, she was in a very critical condition and had to be sent to the intensive care unit.
We received her on the 15th of December and having had multiple seizures. On assessment, she was semi-conscious, which means she was not fully conscious, and she was having multiple repeated seizures. And upon assessment, she was a very critically ill patient. So we initially instituted certain measures to control the seizures, which didn't prove too successful until we handed over to Dr. Ano's team.
Dr. Lucy Addy, the coordinator for the unit, told me it took them 3 weeks to get her back on her feet with support from her family and the Good Samaritan that brought her in.
16th of December, we were called that they have an emergency down there who needs ICU care. And apparently that day in question, we were facing a challenge with the vents. So Dr. Safo Mensah and I have to go to another unit to get the accessory for the vent so that we can pull this patient up. And when she was brought, in fact, she was virtually unconscious. It was a case of the status epilepticus. She's out of ICU now, and she's been at the ward. I learned she's doing very well, and maybe she will be discharged in the course of today. She's been discharged. We give thanks to the Almighty.
Elijah Morrison is the Chief Executive Officer of the Relief Care Rescue Limited. He says when he found her, she was in a very critical state. But the timely intervention of the Accra Ridge Hospital saved her.
On that Thursday night, she fell sick. It wasn't easy. I carried her from the house to Anija Hospital. It's a private hospital located at Alaji. And she was hospitalized for 3 days over there. The Sunday morning, I was called back by the administration of the hospital that I should come for her from there on a transfer to Ridge. Honestly, it wasn't easy. Bringing her to Ridge has been one of the best places I would today want to recommend to most Ghanaians.
Veronica is doing well. She can walk and is aware of her environment.
Maybe I say if I'm and I must say a hospital. Now, Miss Amsena, then I am. Now, Sina me yare, but not Cassani Munye. Now, say make a sour me home. Make a sour me home, not make a sacra monte. Make the home, my miss, I'm sorry, no mentansica coming to me. Entinasi. By none, they are more catching me and send me also. By no mean Jindy. Mean Jindy, but now, me share hospital. Me share cancer, ne mpa wo on nature hospital so na. Me want to be do very me to bet na. Me nyintu. Me ntumi sorry. Me na ni nyina e won ho ye. Me ene me sen nyina. Me ntumi sorry. Me even cry, excuse me to say, me go toilet go na mo de metina wo echi mu a. Se nipa na anya fast a me pagya me ensisu a. Ehwa apene me da fom wonum ti se sebi bia waye bubuani.
The medical team that attended to her also said Veronica's case was a challenging one that underlines the importance of intensive care unit.
I'm very privileged to have been part of the team that managed Madam Veronica Nate during her stay at the hospital. Her situation just challenges us. and then pushes us to never lose hope on the cases or the patients that we see on daily basis, to just put in all our best, our human effort and every equipment and everything that we are blessed to have around us as a hospital, do our best and then not lose hope on our patients, as I said earlier.
Witnessing a seizure can be frightening, but most seizures aren't an emergency. They stop on their own with no permanent ill effects. Some are more dangerous than the others. There are two main types: focal onset seizure and generalized seizures. Focal onset seizures start in a single part of the brain, and generalized seizures involve multiple areas of the brain at once. Dr. Anot tells me a few tips to use if you find yourself in a situation where a person is having a seizure.
If you're out in public and you see someone having a seizure, which is their body jerking uncontrollably, the first thing you should do, number one, is call for help. So whether it's calling an ambulance, or you allocate someone to call for help, or you get more people involved helping this person. The immediate thing that this team of people should do, or just you if you can only find yourself, is turn the person onto their left side. This is because when you're having a seizure and your muscles are all jerking uncontrollably, you cannot control your stomach, you cannot control your breathing muscles. And often what happens is food from your stomach or contents from your stomach will come up and go into your lungs, and that can cause damage, and that's how people die when they have a seizure. So simply by turning them onto their side, you prevent food contents from getting into their lungs, so that once they stop having the seizure, they can breathe normally again by themselves. So immediately turning the person onto their side and calling for a medical professional for help are the two things that you should do if you see someone having a seizure.
There isn't much you can do to stop a seizure once it starts, but there are simple steps you can take to protect someone from harm during seizures. It is worth knowing some basic first aid and when it is time to call 193. Reporting for Citi News, I'm Farida Yusif.